parents speak up.
It was really quite devastating.
What the families of the Parkland shooting victims have to say after visiting the crime scene. A competition to reimagine.
This was so much work.
Miami's historic Hampton House. A chance to show their skills.
So that right there, you saw the result.
What 305 Fights had to offer on amateur night. And South Florida puts on its bathing suit.
It feels phenomenal to be on the runway.
For the world's largest swim festival in Miami. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Kenneth Bueno.
I'm Lauren Wirtz. Today is Monday, July 10th, 2023.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Historic meeting this morning between the U.S. President and the King of England. Just minutes ago, President Biden met with the newly coronated King Charles III.
Caplin News reporter Samantha Gutierrez is in the control center this morning.
This morning, President Joe Biden arrived at Windsor Palace to meet King Charles III for the first time since the monarch ascended to the throne in May. Earlier today, the president sat down with Prime Minister Rishi Sunak.
Thanks for coming. Great for us to carry on our conversations, which we were having just a month or so ago, it feels like, in the White House, where we signed the Atlantic Declaration, the first of its kind economic partnership, which I know we'll be talking about today.
The two leaders have met multiple times and spoke about strengthening their economic security, showing America's allied relationship with the UK. After the arrival ceremony at Windsor Palace, Joe Biden and King Charles III will meet up with a group of private sector leaders to discuss climate change. In the control center, Samantha Gutierrez, Caplin News.
It continues this morning. Parents of the MSD victims touring the Parkland massacre site before the building is torn down. 5 years after the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas shooting, parents of the victims and survivors were able to tour the classrooms and halls where 14 students and 3 staff members died. Keeping the area locked and untouched, families and loved ones were given private tours to view the crime scene. One of the victims' relatives describes her experience as she visited the site.
Seeing his desk, seeing the things, seeing the walls, and actually seeing a paper that one of his students had handed in. And this is one of the students who had written letters to us right after the murder at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, and just putting the face and the letter and everything together. It was really quite devastating.
After the tours are completed, Broward County Public Schools plans to replace the building with a memorial.
Mystery solved this morning after the disappearance of a Broward County teen. Last week, the Nash County Sheriff's Office found the missing South Florida teen at a traffic stop in North Carolina. On Friday, deputies along Interstate 95 pulled over suspect Alejandro Hernandez Vasquez for a traffic violation, but soon learned that the 16-year-old inside the car with Vasquez was reported missing. The car was traveling northbound prior to the stop and search. Vasquez is facing a child abduction charge and several drug-related charges. The teenager was sent to the Wake County Juvenile Detention Center to be picked up by her family.
A group of high school students are headed toward the future in architecture by redesigning one of Miami's most historic buildings. The network's Jared Parker reports that their design could be used in the future.
The historic Hampton House has been a landmark in Miami for several decades. Now, architecture students are getting the chance to redesign the house.
The Design Your World program, hosted by the International Interior Design Program and Black Architects in the Making, aims to give exposure to minority students in design.
It was very new. It was difficult at first, but I think that in the end we really pulled through, and I think we made a lot of new friends that way. We had a good teamwork, so it was like a new experience for me.
The program opens doors for students' creativity to run free.
You know, I don't force what they should be designing or what they should be incorporating into their space. I had one student that loves cats and birds, and her final logo actually happened to be a cat playing a saxophone.
This year they worked with one of the hotels blacks could safely stay during the Jim Crow era.
Students had 4 weeks to redesign the historic Hampton House, taking pieces of Miami and implementing it in their designs.
Culture, community, and lively. That's how we thought that the building should have been represented by. And everything just kind of went from there.
Students displayed the work of a challenging but fulfilling experience.
This was so much work. Like every little bit, like every detail, everything, even the small jukebox right here, like everything was so much.
Students told me that they spent hundreds of hours redesigning this building that has hosted legends like Martin Luther King Jr., Frank Sinatra, and Muhammad Ali. For Caplin News, I'm Jared Parker.
Today, amateur fighters are chasing their dreams of becoming MMA champions. The network's Hawa Ezel shows us what they have to do before they make it to the big show.
Amateur fighters are getting their shot in the spotlight to fight for their dreams and their very own area code.
305 Fights is one of many promotions in South Florida where amateur fighters can test their skills. The contestants fight at the Manuel Aretime Theater in downtown Miami with hopes that they can later go pro and make a career of the sport.
So that right there, you saw the result. You saw the result. That's what happens when I have time to perform, when I have time to prepare. When I have time to prepare, I perform.
Amateur champions like David Tessero are among those who are closest to a pro debut.
I have worked every position, I have trained, repetition, all that. Everything you saw today is not done by just slacking off. Everything I've done today is by hard work.
Between multiple promotions, South Florida was home to more than 30 amateur MMA and kickboxing fights this weekend, giving these athletes' careers a fighting chance.
It was awesome, man. Great crowd. It's fun, yeah. And like it is, it's a mecca MMA down here, so yeah, can't beat that.
With many wins and losses this amateur night, fighters and fans are hoping to see more championship events in their near future. For Caplin News, I'm Hawa Ezel.
Swim Week is underway in South Florida, and there was a big show over the weekend. The network's Daniela Thoki reports from Hollywood.
Cool with the hottest swimwear under the sun and enjoy a swim week that you'll hope will never end. Here's a Miami Swim Week exclusive with local brand Hot Miami Styles.
Everyone in the world is so different. So everyone wants to see someone that looks like them up on the runway, thinking, oh, that looks great on her. She kind of looks like me, or kind of has a body like me, so that'll probably look good on me. It feels phenomenal to be on the runway. I feel like it's a full adrenaline rush. I'm nervous, I'm shaking, I don't know what I'm going to do, and then I get out there and it's just like you strut. This design is a little risque. She says less is more with this one, but I like the undercup right here. I like how it's giving you cleavage. I need help in that department.
It's a very long process, and you have to have a lot of patience, but the number one thing I advise everybody is to just show up and put in the work.
The highly anticipated swimsuit season is finally here, featuring some stunning designs from over 100 national and international brands taking place all over Miami. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Daniela Thoki.
The Marlins look to close out the Phillies series on top after coming off Game 2 with a win.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
The customer who's going to buy the piece learn from the person that they are buying the art.
Floridians get in touch with their abstract side after connecting with Latin American artists. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So, yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Bill is a family man. He invests his money wisely and provides a good life for his children. Just one problem. He often opens emails from senders he doesn't know, and his computer is not password protected. One day, Bill checked his bank account and 94% of malware attacks originate from emails. Don't be like Bill. Take your cybersecurity seriously.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward. Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Floridians are finding their flair as underground Latin abstract artists bring their art to Miami. Today, the Miami art scene is getting a new look.
As Caplin's Jan Preisler reports, an up-and-coming art gallery brings Latin American abstract art to Florida.
Over the weekend, Floridians had a chance to experience abstract art coming out of Latin America at an exposition hosted by 108 Art Projects and Expo Fine Art. The event, called Abstract Gesture, took place on Friday off Bird Road in Southwest 74th Court, showcasing one-of-a-kind abstract pieces from renowned artists from Colombia, Venezuela, and Cuba.
The artist from Venezuela, he's living right now in Uruguay, and he uses recycled materials. Like his canvases are piece of cloth used like on a hospital, for instance, or something like that. So it's very interesting.
Ricardo Dingon, founder of Expo Fine Art, says he started the gallery during the pandemic when he saw an opportunity to turn his passion into a reality and connect Floridians to the heart of Latin American art.
I have always loved my art. My house is full of art. And I decided I want to do it now. I like the customer who's going to buy the piece, learn from the person that they are buying the art. Not just buying a painting and that's it.
And the guests were feeling the connection as the showroom was packed with people looking for some Latin American flair.
I think for me, it makes me explore more types of arts, know more about art and design. And for Miami, like expand their culture, their pieces of art, and to get to know the artists.
Expo Fine Art will be hosting new events every month with different artists showcasing the full depth of Latin American art, so you can catch your art experiences throughout the year. For Caplin News, I am Jan Preisler.
The Marlins had no problem taking care of the Philadelphia Phillies at home, closing out their series yesterday with a win. Trying to blow them out of the water early on, Miami had scored 5 unanswered runs by the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Phillies tried to surmount a comeback, but the damage had already been done. The final score was Marlins 7, Phillies 3. The Marlins are back on the road this weekend, looking to continue their momentum in Baltimore against the Orioles on Friday.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Lauren Wirtz.
And I'm Kenneth Bueno. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.